It's been 5 years since Dodge stopped producing the Journey, yet the SUV is still a popular choice on the used car market. With its spacious interior and affordable price, it continues to attract buyers. But the big question remains, is the Journey actually reliable, and should you trust it as your next vehicle? Let's find out. This is the Long Last channel. Let's take a ride. Production versions of the 2009 model year vehicles went on sale in early 2008 in North America, and by mid-2008 in other markets. It's worth noting that Dodge did not use a single powertrain configuration worldwide under the hood. Buyers could find different engine options, including diesel versions for certain regions. Surprisingly, the rather average exterior and interior design did not prevent the Journey from achieving respectable sales figures in the US, peaking at more than 100,000 units sold per year. In the end, the crossover found its buyers, and the fact that the model remained on the market for 11 years without major structural changes is impressive. From the very beginning of its production run in the US, the Dodge Journey was offered with two engines, the 2.4 and 3.5 liter V6. However, the model received a facelift in 2011, and with it, the older 3.5-liter EGF engine was replaced by the now well-known 3.6-liter Pentastar. Since the predecessor was produced for only 2 model years, there wasn't much point in going into great detail about it. Still, it's worth noting that the 3.5-liter V6 is generally a reliable engine. It uses an aluminum block with cast iron cylinder liners and doesn't suffer from the typical surprises you might see on newer engines, such as spun bearings or cylinder scoring. With timely maintenance, regular oil and filter changes, it can last a long time without any major issues. Even so, it's hard to recommend the engine today. Finding a low mileage, well-maintained with the old V6 is nearly impossible, and the early production models themselves were plagued with various other problems. Because of that, most owners never really got to appreciate how dependable the engine actually is. When the Pentastar first launched in 2011, it was still a brand new engine, and the initial production batches were far from perfect, causing plenty of headaches for early owners. Up until 2019, the Journey came with the ERB version of the engine, not to be confused with the ERC variant introduced in 2016. We'll break down the typical problems in a moment. But it's important to remember that Chrysler did address most of them over the years. Many of the concerns listed below have already been fixed or appear much less frequently on later models. One important point every Dodge Journey owner should understand, no matter the model year, is that a lot of alarming symptoms like knocking sounds, unstable idle, or other strange behavior aren't always signs of mechanical failure. Very often, the root cause is outdated software rather than a hardware fault. That's why the first thing you should do is flash the newest calibration. In many cases, even the diagnostic trouble codes clear after a software update, and no further repairs are needed. Anyone who owns a Pentastar is familiar with the oil cooler issue. Right around the 100,000 mile mark, it usually starts leaking. Many owners assume that replacing the gaskets is enough, but that's just a waste of time. The entire assembly needs to be replaced. Most of the time, the oil leaks into the engine valley, but in some cases it mixes with coolant, which brings a whole set of additional problems. The oil cooler should be replaced as a complete unit, and ideally with the newest revision, which is considered more reliable. Aluminum aftermarket versions are also a solid alternative. Honestly, if you've got some basic tools and a bit of free time, fixing the problem isn't that hard. Just grab the part you need and use a reliable repair manual, like the ones made by the mechanics over at Emmanuel's. And you'll save a good amount of money you'd otherwise pay at a shop. I really enjoy recommending things that actually work, especially the ones I personally use in my videos. You can visit Emmanuel's and look up the repair guide for your car, or just click the pinned video in the description below. That link will also give you an extra 20% off any manual when you use the promo code LLE22. I wish you good luck with your car repair, and may your car run smooth for a long time. Rocker arms are another topic no 3.6 Pentastar owner can ignore. The issue is widely known as the Pentastar tick, and it comes from needle bearing failure inside the rocker arm. It's important to know that as soon as you hear the first signs of ticking, you should take the vehicle to a shop. Catching it early can save camshaft and limit the repair to just replacing all 24 rocker arms. In these cases, technicians usually replace the lifters as well. The problem typically shows up after 100,000 miles, but on the early production years it could happen as early as 10,000 miles. Also, when replacing the rocker arms, make sure to use the latest revision. There have been 4 updates to the design. The P06DD trouble code is a common issue on the Dodge Journey. The first things that need to be checked are the condition of the oil, the seal, and whether the installed oil filter is original. In some cases, the cause may just be loose oil passage bolts, and if none of this helps, then be prepared to replace the oil pump. The root of the problem lies in the solenoid that switches the pump's operating modes. Poor quality oil and infrequent oil changes lead to becoming clogged. The issue is resolved by installing a new oil pump, since the valve is almost never sold separately, and the problem is not always limited to the valve itself. When purchasing parts, you should be especially careful. The market is full of Chinese counterfeits, and installing questionable quality parts in the engine is not a good idea. You should choose exclusively original components. The timing chain is not considered a weak point and generally does not cause problems for owners. Reaching 150,000 miles under calm driving conditions is not an issue for it, but if you're a spirited driver, you can safely cut that number in half. The Pentastar uses a port fuel injection system, which means owners won't have to deal with the issues typically associated with direct injection engines. Thanks, Chrysler. From the 2011 to the 2013 model years, the left cylinder head had a factory defect that caused misfires on the even-numbered cylinders. In these cases, a leak-down test is performed. If the reading exceeds 25%, the cylinder head must be replaced. The camshaft position sensor is also not the most reliable component. It often throws fault codes and requires replacements. The most problematic sensors are those with serial numbers starting in the letter D. The thermostat and the crossover located next to it are also made of plastic, and just like the oil cooler, are not very reliable. Over time, the plastic dries out from high temperatures and begins to leak. Both of these components must be replaced together with their gaskets, since with mileage the gaskets also lose their properties and start allowing coolant to pass through. The best thing an owner can do is periodically inspect this assembly and keep an eye on the coolant level. It must be acknowledged that the engine turned out far from perfect. And even if nothing is knocking or leaking, as a preventative measure, it is recommended to visit a shop every 60,000 miles and have a mechanic inspect the engine. Besides, almost any technician knows how to work with Pentastar. If you don't delay repairs and stay ahead of the problems, the Pentastar is an excellent engine with a long service life, and it gives you early warning signs when something is wrong. The 2.4 engine became very widespread, and its factory designation is ED3. Over many years of production, it has proven itself to be a simple and easy-to-maintain power plant. Early models had some shortcomings, which were later corrected. Just as with the 3.6 engine, it is not recommended to buy vehicles from the first years of production, especially the pre-facelift version. The number of potential issues can be disproportionately high compared to the money saved. Below we will look at the common problems a Journey owner should pay attention to regardless of model year. The plastic coolant system T-connector tends to crack over time, which can lead to engine overheating. Special attention should be paid to the thermostat housing. It is also made of plastic and sits directly against the engine. Over time, the plastic dries out, as do the rubber gaskets, which result in coolant leaks. The most reliable solution is to install an aluminum replacement, allowing you to forget about this issue for a long time. A common failure on the Journey is a cracked exhaust manifold between cylinders 2 and 3. The manifold is made of cast iron, which makes welding repairs significantly more difficult. A used manifold can be installed, but only from later model years, since cracks are caused by age-related metal fatigue. Typical symptoms include a characteristic hissing, exhaust sound under the hood, and the smell of exhaust gases in the engine bay. Over time, a large number of 2.4-liter owners encountered this problem, especially in regions with sharp temperature fluctuations where frequent rapid heating and cooling contribute to the formation of hot cracks. The throttle body is one of the most common complaints among ED3 owners. The engineers used plastic gears inside, and the throttle body itself is mounted low, in a cold area. Condensation and oil vapors accumulate inside, causing either the control board to fail or the plastic gears to strip. The PVC valve can essentially be considered a consumable part. It should be replaced every 60,000 miles. After that, it typically fails. It is inexpensive, and replacing it on time is better than ignoring the issue, which can lead to increased oil consumption and other negative consequences. There are also known problems with the solenoids that control the cam phasers. Contamination or malfunction can trigger P0 type error codes. However, the same codes can also appear due to timing chain stretch. As a rule, regular oil and filter changes greatly extend the lifespan of these solenoids. The chain itself provides good service life under normal driving conditions. The ED3 is not prone to cylinder scoring or piston slap, and the oil pump is also not considered a weak point. The engine does have hydraulic lifters, so valve clearances must be adjusted manually. In all other respects, the engine demonstrates very good reliability. Change the oil on time, keep an eye on the PCV valve, and monitor that coolant level. Guys, I often see your comments asking for advice or suggesting reviews of other cars that haven't been featured on the channel yet. If you'd like quicker feedback and want to help shape the future of this channel, check out the perks available to channel members. Just hit that join button below this video and click more about perks to see what membership includes. Alright, let's keep going. The transmission with the Index 40 TES, also known as the A604, was installed on the Journey with a 2.4-liter engine. Surprisingly, the first version of this 4-speed automatic transmission appeared back in 1989, and has since undergone numerous upgrades, gradually eliminating its original design flaws. As a result, the Journey uses the latest and most refined version, designated 40 TES. On forums, it is often referred to as the 41TE. The transmission turned out to be very reliable, and most issues are related either to poor maintenance or to harsh operation. However, there are still some points worth mentioning. The P0740 error occurs when there is a malfunction in the torque converter. Typical symptoms include knocking and unusual noises when shifting into reversed or when shifting into drive. After this code appears, further operation is strictly prohibited, as continued driving can lead to serious damage to the entire transmission. The friction elements in this transmission are reliable and serve for a very long time under moderate loads. The transmission case also rarely causes problems. Leaks are not very common. However, if the transmission is under heavy conditions with constant slipping, the mechanical components may fail. The splines of the front planetary gear set and the rear sun gear are the first to suffer. In the clutch hub area, the sun gear may even break apart, and the teeth of the ring gear can wear down. Despite all of the above, mechanics give the transmission very high marks, and with regular maintenance, a mileage of 250,000 miles or more is quite achievable for it. The 62TE is the transmission that was paired with the Pentastar engine. Its design was based on the already familiar A604, but the newer unit turned out to be less reliable. One of the known issues is a fracking flex plate between the curved cutouts. Because of this, a rattle appears under certain loads. The solution is obvious. Replace it with a new part. The most common malfunction is the solenoid pack becoming clogged with wear debris. It could be repaired, but most mechanics recommend installing a new one. The approximate lifespan of a new solenoid pack is around 100,000 miles of city driving. If the vehicle is used more on the highway, its service life increases significantly. This transmission absolutely does not tolerate poor maintenance. The fluid must be replaced every 25,000 miles, and the plastic filter must be replaced with every fluid change. Up until around 2012, there was a widespread issue with drum wear due to poorly designed Teflon rings. Later, Dodge released an update drum with a ring rotation lock, and the unit became more reliable. The torque converter is not considered a weak component and generally demonstrates good reliability. However, if the transmission had already suffered serious damage, the torque converter will also require mandatory repair. Overall, the 62TE turned out to be less reliable than the 41TE, on which it is based. Yes, it shifts more smoothly and allows the vehicle to cruise at lower RPM with reduced engine noise. But sometimes you have to pay for that with repairs at around 100 to 125,000 miles. This does not mean it will happen to you, especially if you service the transmission regularly. There are known cases of the 62TE lasting 500,000 miles. You simply need to understand that at some point it may require attention. The Journey's braking system has caused quite a bit of trouble for owners. On pre-facelift versions, there was a large number of issues with premature pad wear and reduced braking efficiency. To address all of these problems, numerous technical bulletins had to be released. The parking brake shaft is prone to corrosion and over time begins to perform its function poorly. On facelift models equipped with larger brake rotors, the brake hoses are very sensitive due to weak retention. The damper limiter slides out of place and no longer prevents the hose from contacting the frame rail. As a result, the hose becomes worn through. It needs to be moved back into its proper position, and you should make sure the hoses are not twisted. When replacing the brake pads, always inspect the guide plates on which the pads slide into the caliper bracket. Corrosion, even minor dents, or deformed areas are a reason to throw the plate away immediately. Its condition determines whether the pads will retract from the rotor or remain in contact, causing overheating, increased wear, and a rise in fuel consumption, sometimes by 2 to 3 liters per 100 kilometers. The suspension has good durability, and OEM parts are significantly stronger than most aftermarket replacements. You should not replace control arm bushings or stabilizer bar bushings just because cracks have appeared. They can be used until the end of their service life. However, this does not apply to ball joints, tie rods, and tie rod ends. These components must be replaced on time, as your safety depends on them directly. Shock absorbers may show light misting. This is not a reason for replacement, but if there are noticeable fluid drips, the vehicle should be inspected on a vibration test stand. A common issue among owners is the steering clock spring chafing through. When this happens, an airbag warning light appears on the instrument cluster. A new assembly has to be purchased, and it isn't cheap, especially if the vehicle is equipped with the ESP, since in this case, the clock spring comes together with the steering angle sensor. It is possible to order an inexpensive Chinese clock spring and transfer the original steering angle sensor onto it. Some owners choose the cheapest option and resolder the ribbon inside the clock spring themselves. The Dodge Journey's battery is located under the left headlight, which is difficult to call a good design decision. Dirt and road chemicals easily get behind the fender liner and remain there until the terminals corrode or a diligent mechanic happens to look inside. Unfortunately, the electronics are the weakest part of the Journey. On the forums, the most frequently discussed topics are electrical issues. If you want to dig deeper into this subject, there will be a link in the video description to an article covering all the main problems related to the Journey electronics and more. The article is in Russian, so you may need a translator, but it is definitely worth reading. The Journey is definitely not the most reliable vehicle in its class. Yes, from time to time you may have to deal with some electrical glitches, but the mechanical side has gone through numerous improvements and no longer raises serious concerns. At the same time, the price of the Journey remains very attractive, largely due to the stereotype of the brand's unreliability. And in the case of this model, this can and even should be taken advantage of. From a reliability standpoint, the version of the 2.4-liter engine will be the optimal choice. However, if you want more performance, you shouldn't turn down the Pentastar either. This engine can indeed cause more trouble, but due to its widespread use, it can be repaired in almost any shop. The main thing is not to delay repairs and to choose units from the later model years with low mileage. Fortunately, there are still plenty of those available on the market.